Welcome to this video. In this, we are going to discuss the serial communication interface, and this is a reference for this topic. So many I/O devices transfer the information to or from computer serially one bit at a time. So next one is SOD and SID lines. That is a 8085 microprocessor communicates serially using these two lines. So the serial output data SOD line is used to send 1 bit data on the SOD pin of 8085, and the RIM instruction is used to receive 1 bit data on the SID pin of 8085. And this serial communication is having a lot of registers, status registers, control registers, and data registers. So before going to this topic, let's have a small introduction regarding the simplex and the duplex communication. So what is a simplex communication? Means it is a unidirectional communication. So the senders can send the data, but that sender can't receive the data. So that is a unidirectional one. So it provides a less performance than the other communication mode. So the example for this keyboard and the pointers. Next one is off duplex mode. So it is a two-way directional communication, but one at a time. So the sender can send the data and also receive the data, but this can be done only one at a time. So it provides a less performance than the full duplex. Example is walkie-talkie. So next one is full duplex. So it is a two-way directional communication simultaneously. That is, senders can send the data and receive the data simultaneously. So it provides a better performance than the other two communication mode. Example is telephone. Apart from that, so it is again classified into asynchronous and the synchronous. So the asynchronous, this one is it is automatically adds the start bit followed by the data bit, and the programmed number of stop bits to each character. Okay, so it also adds the parity information bit. It also adds the parity information prior to the stop bit as defined by the mode instruction. So the character is then transmitted as a serial data stream on the transmitter cross data output at the falling edge of transmitter clock bar. Okay, and this can be achieved only when this asynchronous communication only achieved when the clock frequency is not the same. Okay, so that is a very important one between the microprocessor and the peripheral device. If the clock frequency is not the same, we can go for the asynchronous communication. Next one, synchronous communication. So a character contains 5 to 8 bits optionally followed by the parity bit. Here there is no need of start and the stop bits. So all the transmissions start with the series of synchronous characters. So the receiver must know the identity of a synchronous character. When a sequence of bit arrives as matches with the synchronous character, it assumes that transmission has begun. So these are all some of the basic concepts when you go for the communication. That is 8251. So let us move on to the 8251 programmable communication interface. So with this the previous discussion, so this one is your universal synchronous, asynchronous receiver and transmitter, that is USART. And it is capable of being programmed for a synchronous or asynchronous communication. And it is a serial bit stream arriving on the receiver data pin, shifted to receiver shift register and read by the CPU. So the output data bits on data out buffer register transferred to the transmitter shift register, shifted through transmitter data pin. And mode registers and synchronous or asynchronous purposes are achieved in this communication interface. Control registers are used to control the operation. And this shows the 28-pin package. and this one, it supports the standard synchronous protocol, asynchronous protocol with 5 to 8 bit character format, odd or even or no parity generation and detection, baud rate from DC to 19.2 kilobaud, false start bit detection is possible, automatic break detect and handling is possible, break character generation is also possible, and it has a built-in baud rate generator. It also supports the standard synchronous protocol with 5 to 8 bit character format, internal and external character synchronization, automatic synchronous insertion, and baud rate from DC to 64 kilo baud rate. It also allows full duplex transmission and reception. So this is a already told, it is a 28 pin package. So with this, we will move on to the functional block diagram of this 8251, and it is a data bus buffer and a read bar write control logic, and it is a modem control. It has a transmit buffer and transmit control, receiver buffer and a receiver control. Let us see one by one. First, let us move on to the data bus buffer. So in the data bus buffer, it is a tri-state bidirectional 8-bit buffer is used to interface the 8251 to the system data bus. So along with the data, control word, command words and the status information are also transferred through the data bus buffer. So in this data bus buffer, these are all the actions to be followed. So next one, read bar write logic. So when you refer in this the previous one, so this is a read bar write control logic. So in this, if you C bar D, if a C bar D and a read bar write bar, these are all the following conditions. This is a truth table. If it is a 001, so the CPU reads the data from USART. Suppose if there is a 110, CPU writes the command to the USART. So this is a truth table followed for the read bar write logic. So next one is modem control. So in the modem control, we have a data set ready, and a data terminal ready, and a data request to send RTS, and the clear to send. So the A2 the output is labeled data terminal ready, and the input is labeled as a DSR. So the DTR can be asserted by setting a bit 2 of the command instruction. DSR can be asserted, that is sensed as a bit 7 of the status register. When used as a modem control signal, DTR indicates that the terminal is ready to communicate, and DSR indicates that it is ready for communication. Next, transmit buffer. So it has a that is a transmit ready, transmit empty and transmitter clock. That is a buffer register to hold. It has a 2 buffer registers. Okay, it has a 2 registers. One is that is a 2 buffer register to hold the 8-bit and an output register to convert 8-bit into the stream of serial bit. So the CPU writes a byte in the buffer register, which is transferred to the output register when it is empty. The output register then transmits the serial data onto the transmitter data pin. So in the coming to the transmit ready, so this one transmit ready, so this output signal indicates the CPU that buffer register is empty and the USART is ready to accept the data character. So this is a first point. It can be used as an interrupt to system or for hold operation. So the CPU can check transmitter ready using the status read operation. So this signal is reset when the data byte is loaded into the buffer register. Okay, when you go to the next one, transmitter empty. Okay, so there is an output. This is an output signal. A high on this line indicates that the output buffer is empty. Okay, so that is very important one. So in the synchronous mode, if the CPU has failed to load a new character in time, so this transmitter empty will go high momentarily as the synchronous characters are loaded into the transmitter to fill the gap in transmission. What about your transmitter clock means? So this clock controls the rate at which characters are transmitted by the USART. Next, receiver buffer. So the receiver accepts the serial data on the receiver data line, converts this serial data to parallel format and check for bits or characters that are unique to the communication technique and send the assembled character to the CPU. And this is receiver clock, receiver ready and synchronous detect. Okay, so receiver ready means, so this is an output signal. It goes high when the USART has a character in the buffer register and is ready to transfer it to the CPU. What about receiver clock means? So this clock controls the rate at which the character is to be received by the USART in the synchronous mode. So next one, so this can be achieved, 8251 achieved by means of two modes of operation. One is a mode instruction format and the command instruction format. Let us move on to the mode instruction format. Here we have a D0 to D7 data, and here when you go for the D0 and D1, it is a baud rate factor. It is a baud rate factor. When it is a 00, it is under the synchronous mode. When it is a 11, it is under the asynchronous. Okay, so these are all the first information. And when you go for D2 to D3, and it is a character length. That is, we can have a 5-bit, 6-bit, 7-bit and 8-bit, and the word is like, and the data is like this. That is 00 means a 5-bit and 11 means 8-bit. Next, when you go for the D4 and D5, that is D4 and D5, and it is a parity control. If it is a 01 means odd parity, if it is a 11 means even parity. What about your D6 and D7? So it is a framing control, and that is a 01 means one stop bit, 10 means 1.5 stop bits, and 11 means 2 stop bits. In this way, the mode instruction is format is followed. That is, instructions can be considered as 4 2 fields. So that is, the first two field D1 D0 determines whether the USART is operate in the synchronous or asynchronous mode. And in the second 2 bit is determines the number of data bit in one character. And the third 2 bit D5 D4 controls the parity generation, and the last field is 2 meanings depending on the whether the operation is to be synchronous or asynchronous mode. Next one is control register. So here we have a again D0 to D7, and each cell is having a one character. So let us discuss one by one. So first, when the D0 is, that is a DTR. So that is a data terminal ready. Data terminal ready. Next one, receiver enable. This one is our receiver enable. Okay, if it is 1 is equal to enable, 0 is equal to disable. Next, it is SBRK. So send break character. If 1 is equal to forces transmitter data low, 0 means a normal operation. Next, it is ER. ER means error reset. If 1 is equal to reset error flags, that is PE, OE or FE. Next one is RTS. RTS means request to send. Already we have discussed this one. If 1 means it is enabled to RTS. Next, IR. IR means internal reset. That is, if it is equal to 1 means reset. That is 82512 mode. Finally, we have enter hunt mode, EH. That is, enable the hunt mode. Enable search for the synchronous characters. And finally, we have a status register. status register. Here we have again D0 to D7. So each one we are having a unique value. So first one, transmitter ready. Okay, so this one is transmitter ready. Next one, and this one PE means parity error, and this parity flag is set when the parity error is detected. It is reset by the ER bit of the command instruction, and PE doesn't inhibit the operation of the 8251A. So what about your D4? That is OE, overrun error. D4, so D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, OE, overrun error. That is OE flag is set when the CPU doesn't read a character before the next one becomes available. Okay, so it is a reset by the ER bit of the command instruction OE. So OE doesn't inhibit the operation of 8251A. However, the previously overrun character is lost. So next one, FE, framing error. So the FE flag is set when the valid stop bit is not detected at the end of the every character. It is a reset by the ER bit of the command instruction. So FE doesn't inhibit the operation of the 8251A. Okay, so what about your DSR? DSR means finally, and this one is your data set ready, indicates that data set ready is at 0 level. So that's all about your USART 8251A using that is a serial communication interface. So thank you.